Hello everyone, welcome to this session of Class 6 Mathematics for MaxSchool.1 and I'm your Anu again. Last class it was understanding elementary shapes and in this class we'll continue with some of the concepts we have left with. Okay, so let's get started right away. We were seeing in understanding elementary shapes up to triangles, that is three-sided polygon, isn't it? So today we'll be doing the four-sided polygon. Four-sided polygon is called quadrilateral. See, quad means four. Okay, so made up of four line segments. Quadrilateral in general is made up of four line segments which may not be equal or parallel or any other condition. It is just a quadrilateral, it's a polygon of four line segments which may not be equal. But we have special types of quadrilaterals and we'll be seeing one by one. Okay, so some special types of quadrilaterals. The first one is the trapezium. Okay, this is called a trapezium, where in a quadrilateral you have just a pair of parallel sides. You know what do you mean by parallel? Isn't it? They don't meet each other, parallel lines don't meet each other at any point and they maintain the distance throughout between them, isn't it? So we have a trapezium with a pair of parallel sides. See, AB and CD are parallel in a trapezium. Okay, so this is one kind of quadrilateral. This is a special type of quadrilateral. The next one is, see how a quadrilateral evolves into its special types, isn't it? So trapezium quadrilateral is modified into trapezium when it has a pair of parallel sides, isn't it? So you maintain the parallel sides as it is. So one parallel side becomes two parallel sides, AB, CD. Okay, so we name it as ABCD and this one pair of parallel sides becomes now two pairs of parallel sides. See, opposite sides are parallel and this type is called the parallelogram. As the name implies, the quadrilateral, a special type of quadrilateral, has two opposite sides. See, a pair of sides opposite to each other are parallel. Okay, so I can draw the diagonals here connecting the opposite vertices, the line segments which do not form the sides of the polygon but they connect the opposite vertices are called diagonals. We know that, isn't it? So here when you see the diagonals, AC and BD are diagonals of the polygon of the parallelogram, and as the intersecting lines in between we have the vertically opposite angles. See, vertically opposite angles are equal. These are called vertically opposite angles. In intersecting lines you have vertically opposite angles and they are always equal. And in parallelogram, if you see, the opposite angles are equal. Okay, the opposite angles are equal and the adjacent angles, see, C and D are adjacent, BC adjacent, AB adjacent and AD adjacent. The adjacent angles add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so we say AB parallel to CD and AD parallel to BC. So two pairs of opposite sides are parallel in a parallelogram. So this is your second type of quadrilateral. And now the third type is, see, from a parallelogram we move on to the next type of quadrilateral where all the sides are equal. See, you retain the shape of parallelogram but make sure that all the sides are equal. When you have such a kind of quadrilateral, okay, then that special type of quadrilateral or that polygon is called the rhombus. The rhombus is a quadrilateral, special type of quadrilateral where all the sides are equal. It is just like a parallelogram, but all the sides are equal. Okay, so the diagonals you see AC and BD, they cut each other, but they bisect each other. You have to note down that they bisect each other and they are perpendicular to each other, but they are not equal to each other. So when you construct rhombus, you need to know the diagonals. Is it enough? I mean, it is enough to know the measurements of the diagonals to construct a rhombus. Okay, because we know that these two diagonals are perpendicular to each other, they are at 90 degrees to each other. So you can construct two lines which are 90 degrees to each other, isn't it, easily? Then you can mark the measurement by which you can understand in the diagram, from the diagram you can understand that the diagonals bisect each other. So half of the measurement you can cut arcs on both sides, and if you join them you will get a rhombus. Okay, so this is the third type of a special type of quadrilateral, that is rhombus, where you have AB equals to BC equals to CD equal to DE. So this is the third type of special quadrilateral, that is called rhombus. Now the next one is, if you observe this, see here in the parallelogram we say opposite sides are parallel, isn't it? But in the next type what you have is the same parallelogram, in the see, when you see this, these two will be similar, but the only difference is the corners or at the vertices or the joining ends you have 90 degrees or you have right angles. That is, the line segments, the sides meet each other at 90 degrees. Whereas in parallelogram it is not like that. We say the adjacent sides add up to 180 degree. The same is here. 290 plus 90 becomes 180 degree, and opposite angles are equal just like a parallelogram. But here all the angles are 90 degrees. Okay, so each side is perpendicular to other and opposite sides are equal, and we name this special quadrilateral as a rectangle. So this is the fourth one, which is called a rectangle, and you can see the diagonals too. Okay, so these two diagonals AC and BD of a rectangle. So rectangle is a special quadrilateral where the opposite sides are equal and the sides meet each other at 90 degrees. You understand? Now the last one, next one is the same thing as we did for parallelogram. We retain the shape as it is, but we can see all the sides are equal. Okay, just like a rhombus, all the sides are equal, but it is just like rectangle where the sides or the line segments meet each other at 90 degrees. See, they meet each other at 90 degrees, and when you draw the diagonals, they are perpendicular to each other. Okay, do you understand? They are perpendicular to each other, and this type of you know very well, this is a square. Okay, so the only difference between a rhombus and a square is they both have equal sides, but in the rhombus the line segments do not meet each other at 90 degrees. It is tilted just like a parallelogram, but in the square you have 90 degrees in the corners and the diagonals meet each other perpendicular. You understand? So this is the fifth type of special type quadrilateral, and the last one is what we call the kite shape. The sixth one is the kite shape. So it just resembles a kite, you can see. And what is the speciality of this type of polygon is, you have the adjacent pair of sides to be equal. Okay, and the diagonals bisect each other. What do you mean by bisecting each other? It divides, see this diagonal AC cuts BD so that BD is bisected into equal halves. Same way BD cuts AC so that AC is bisected into two equal, but yes, this is actually not the case. This AD, this AC diagonal cuts BD into two equal halves. Okay, so as the figure shows you, this is a kite shaped. Okay, so this is kite shape, and we have 6 types of special types quadrilaterals here, and these are two-dimensional shapes. As we can see, they have just the length and the breadth. Okay, so some of the special types of quadrilateral we have seen here. Now let's move on to, after seeing two-dimensional shapes, let's move on to three-dimensional objects. So where we can see three-dimensional objects, so anywhere like when we use a box, we can see the shape of a cuboid there, and the cubes, I mean the Rubik cubes we play, that is in the shape of cube. A sphere, that is also a three-dimensional object, and a cone and a cylinder. So these are all solid shapes and they are called three-dimensional figures because I mean in addition to length and breadth, they have height also. Okay, so they make a solid shape. Now we'll see three-dimensional 3D objects. What we call three-dimensional objects as 3D objects. So we'll just see the parts of these three-dimensional objects. So this is what I've drawn here is a cube. Okay, this is a cube. This is made up of squares, as you can see. See what you see as a square is called, I'll shade the top portion. Each portion is a square. So it is made up of squares. Okay, so what I have shaded here for your convenience, the shaded part is called a face. So face, the square is called a face. So how many faces you have in a cube? If you count, see 1, 2, 3 bottom and the side 4, 5 and that side you have 6. So totally 6 faces you have in a cube. Okay, so those are called faces. That is what you see, the square shape, the two-dimensional figure which makes the three-dimensional object is called a face. Okay, now when two faces meet, say this face and this face, if you take, they meet here, isn't it? So I put it in a dark line. Say they meet here, isn't it? This line where two faces meet is called an edge. What is it called? An edge. An edge is a line segment. See, this is just a line segment, or this is the side of the square. Okay, this becomes the side of the face. So one side. So the meeting point of two faces, any two faces, is called an edge. Okay, so edge is a line segment, or it is the side of the face, side of the square. So that we called an edge. And if two edges meet, see in the corner, this is the corner points. Usually what is the corner point is called? It is a vertex, isn't it? So the corner point is called a vertex. So we have vertices. How many vertices you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8. When you say it in plural, it becomes vertices. 8 vertices. And how many edges? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11, 12. So how many edges you have? 12 edges you have, and there are totally 6 faces. Do you understand? So remember, cube has all these parts, and these parts are similar to every three-dimensional objects. See, like cuboid, you have cuboid. It is made up of, you can see the shape, it is made up of rectangles. The face is a rectangle here. It is just like a cube. So you have the same number of edges, faces and the vertices, isn't it? So this is a cuboid. This is called a cuboid. Now, another three-dimensional object is we have like this is a cylinder, we call it a cylinder, and this is also a three-dimensional object where the face here, where the face here is circle, isn't it? The face here is a circle. It is also called the base of the cylinder. Base of the cylinder is a circle. It doesn't have any edge because it has no sharp corners, isn't it? So the base is a circle. Okay, so top two circles, and if it is enclosed by some material or something like that, you get a cylinder. Okay, so this is called a cylinder. And you very well know the sphere. So this is a sphere. Earth is an example for sphere, a ball, isn't it? So it doesn't have any edges or vertices or corners or something like that. So it's a sphere. But when you do the cross section of the sphere, cross section is when we cut the sphere horizontally, when we cut the ball across, we have the cross section here. The cross section is nothing but a circle. Okay, so sphere can be cut into two hemispheres. So this is one hemisphere. See, you will have like this. You have two hemispheres. This is the down part and the upper part. Okay, you can cut it into two hemispheres, and the face of that hemisphere is a circle. You understand? So this is a sphere. This is also a three-dimensional object. And the other one is this is called a cone. This is a cone. Cone is also a three-dimensional object. See, the base of the cone is a circle. Okay, so from circles, if you draw infinite lines which meet at a point here, then that is called a cone. Okay, so cone, the base of the cone is again a circle. Okay, so apart from these three-dimensional objects, we have still two more three-dimensional objects, like, see, we still have two more, which is what the base of this shape. See, the base of this shape can be any, the base of this three-dimensional object can be any shape. So let me draw it for square and show you. See, the base of this three-dimensional object is a square here, and the rest of the faces are triangles. We can have any base here. I have drawn you a square. You can draw a hexagon or a pentagon or a rectangle or any other base for this, or any other shape as the base, but the rest of the faces should be triangles. See, all the triangles meet at a point here. So this kind of 3D objects or three-dimensional objects are called pyramids. So Egyptian pyramids are a good example of this. You would have seen that. So here it is a square base. Can you imagine a triangle to be base and the rest of the things being triangles? Can you imagine them? Can you imagine such a three-dimensional object? So I draw a dotted line because we can't see the other back to the face, back to this triangular face. So the base of this pyramid is also a triangle, and we join the rest of the faces by triangles at a point, and this is also a pyramid, but this pyramid, this is a square pyramid. Actually what I have drawn you earlier is a square pyramid, but this is a triangular pyramid, but this also has another name to it, that is a tetrahedron. This is called tetrahedron. Okay, this type of 3D object is called tetrahedron. This is also pyramid, but when it has triangle as its base, it is called tetrahedron. Do you understand? So this is pyramid, and we can have different shapes for the bases. And if you have an hexagon in the base, you call it a hexagonal pyramid. Okay. Now the last one is, see, you have base here. See, you have two bases here, just like cylinder. You just imagine a cylinder where you have two bases in the top and the bottom side, isn't it? Likewise, you have two faces, two bases actually, and that is in the form of triangle. Okay, so that is in the form of triangle, and rest of the faces, like pyramid, rest of the faces are made up of rectangles. Okay, so you just imagine, can you imagine any real object in the shape of this object? Can you imagine? Can you make a guess? Yes, of course, you have the kaleidoscope, which we used to play in our childhood. I mean, you can play it even now too. So that is what we call, that is the prism actually. This is a prism. This 3D object is called a prism. Okay, which has, see, this has two triangles at the base and connected with a rectangle on all the other sides. So the rectangle being the other faces, you have the base as triangle. Okay, can you imagine a rectangle to be in the base of these two sides? Can you imagine? Then what kind of an object it would be? If both the bases are rectangles, then what kind of an object it would be? Yes, it would be exactly like a cuboid. Since cuboid is made up of rectangles, isn't it? And if the base is also a rectangle, then it makes a cuboid, isn't it? Just like the pyramid, if you have a circle here, it will become a cone, isn't it? If you have a circle here, it will become a cone. Just like this, if you have circles at the base, it will become a cylinder, isn't it? So this is called a prism. This is a triangular prism. For a rectangular prism, we need not call it as a rectangular prism. It is called as a cuboid. Do you understand? So these are some of the 3D objects we have studied today. Okay, so from this class we have learnt some two-dimensional shapes and the three-dimensional objects and the parts of the three-dimensional objects like faces, edges and the vertices. I hope you would have understood. So the next class will move still further and we'll learn angles. We'll try to make angles using directions and another application regarding it. So until then, it's bye from Anu from Mathschool.1. Thank you.